Have you ever stopped to think that the brightest ideas that arise in your mind may not exclusively belong to you? Imagine for a moment that there is an invisible force, a cosmic energy that connects us all, inspiring our creations and innovations. What if I told you that geniuses throughout history like Nikola Tesla believed that their inventions were not solely the product of human reasoning, but rather the result of communication with a higher level of intelligence? In our fast-paced world, we are so focused on understanding the workings of the brain and unraveling the mysteries of creativity that we often forget to look beyond our own minds. Do we truly comprehend the origins of our ideas and inspirations? Or perhaps we are only scratching the surface of a much larger concept. In this video, we are going to dive deep into this fascinating enigma. We will explore the connection between our minds and a universal force that may be the true source of innovation. Get ready to be amazed as we uncover how great composers, artists, and inventors tapped into something beyond the ordinary, shaping their works in the process. You will come to realize that finding inspiration can mean much more than having a good idea. It may be a genuine dialogue with the cosmos. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of inspiration and creativity on this journey that challenges conventions, stay with us until the end. You might discover that with every idea that emerges, there exists a world of possibilities waiting to be explored. And perhaps, just perhaps, the key to this lies beyond what we can see. Let's get started. Imagine a vibrant scene in a grand ballroom in New York City, where the brightest minds and inventors from around the world have gathered to honor a genius. Nikola Tesla, now in his 80s, is met with warm applause, celebrated for his extraordinary contributions to humanity. But in the midst of all this reverence, Tesla makes a statement that leaves everyone in silence. My ideas do not come solely from my mind. They come from a place beyond myself. This statement is not just intriguing, it's almost revolutionary. What did he truly mean by this? How could one of the greatest inventors in history attribute his genius to an external force? For those of us who often view the mind as the center of our being, this assertion challenges the norm. It invites us to question, what is creativity really? Tesla cast doubt over the idea that everything we create comes purely from our intellect. He suggests that while the human brain is a marvelous machine for processing information and controlling our bodily functions, it may not be the true engine behind our greatest inspirations. This provokes a profound mystery. If the brain is not the source of creativity, then where does it come from? Consider this. We have all experienced moments when a brilliant idea suddenly emerges, as if waiting to be discovered. It may be that, like Tesla, we are influenced by a creative force that flows through the universe. It's a connection that transcends our conventional understanding and links us to a collective source of knowledge. This perspective leads us to reflect more deeply on the nature of creation. Are we truly alone in our thoughts, or are we humbly tuned into a greater stream of wisdom? Tesla was not just an inventor. He was a visionary who understood the depth of inspiration. By examining his life and work, we are confronted with the real possibility that the ideas that change the world may come from a source beyond our cognition. Stay with me as we now delve into an even more fascinating territory, the true function of our brains. How do they position themselves between body and mind, and what does this mean for creativity and human ingenuity? Don't miss the next section, where we will explore the intricate relationships between the brain and our capacity to create. Now, let's delve into the central role of the brain in our daily functioning. Did you know that this incredible structure is not just a control mechanism that we spend so much time trying to understand? It appears to have a much more complex and intriguing role than merely regulating bodily functions. The brain, which seems to be the hub of our cognitive abilities, is more like a command center that manages our movements, our breathing, and even the beating of our hearts. But what about creativity? What about the ideas that emerge so spontaneously? Here's the question. When we look at the evolution of science, we notice that the greatest thinkers in history, including Tesla, recognized that the connection between the mind and true inspiration is, in many ways, a mystery. What we know, at its core, is that the mind does much more than just process information. It also seems to have a more ethereal role. At its essence, the brain is often compared to a sophisticated machine, but what if this machine is connected to something greater? Imagine your brain as an advanced computer, with the nervous system working like the connecting wires that permeate the body. This connectivity is fundamental for communication between the brain and the rest of the organism. However, in relation to creativity, there's an intrinsic question we cannot ignore. How do creativity and inspiration truly manifest? Since the dawn of humanity, philosophers and scientists have debated whether we are masters of our minds or mere vessels for a creative force that transcends us. This dilemma undoubtedly echoes in the minds of artists, scientists, and inventors. The common belief is that creativity is confined to activities such as art or science. But what happens when we extend this idea and see it not just as a skill but as a genuine connection to some external force? While discussing the function of the brain, we must also consider its limitations. It's easy to believe that everything an artist or inventor creates is purely the result of hard work and dedication. But what Tesla showed us is that this belief is limited. He suggested that true inspiration might originate from a place beyond our conscious understanding, something that may be in plain sight but that we have yet to fully perceive. And this leads us to a deeper place, the question of the origin of ideas and creations. If the brain itself is not the source, then where is the true source of our creativity? Let's explore this question further as we progress, always seeking to answer this inquiry in our daily lives. Now, keeping this curiosity alive, let's move on to the next chapter. Get ready because we will explore an even deeper mystery. Where exactly do we find the true essence of inspiration? A topic is coming that might change the way you view your own creativity. Inspiration, that creative impulse that makes us feel alive. We have all experienced that magical moment when an idea shines like a star in the darkness. But if we take a closer look at this phenomenon, we start to realize that inspiration can be much more than just a flash of genius. Tesla believed that our ability to create did not come purely from within us, but from an external cosmic source, and this may be what gives our creativity all its richness and depth. When we think of great composers or writers, like Mozart or Shakespeare, we immediately recognize that they were inspired in extraordinary ways. The music they composed and the words they wrote seem almost supernatural in their beauty. But where do these ideas come from? Is there a common source, an invisible network of inspiration that connects all human beings? Stories of artists and inventors often talk about eureka moments, where an idea suddenly emerges as if someone had breathed life into it. An interesting analogy is that of a radio. By tuning into the right frequency, we are able to pick up transmissions of ideas floating in the air. This imagery brings forth the concept that inspiration comes from outside, and in a way, we are merely receivers of this information. For years, scientists and philosophers have debated the concept of the collective unconscious, as presented by Carl Jung. This concept suggests that there is a reservoir of shared experiences, images, and ideas that transcend the individual. And if it is true that we are influenced by what is around us, what about the influence of the universe itself? We cannot ignore the powerful energy of planets and stars, which we believe can affect our emotional states and perhaps our creativity. It's fascinating to imagine that our thoughts and creative ideas may actually be an echo of something that already exists out there. If we truly see ourselves as instruments of a cosmic symphony, this celestial dance of inspiration connects us to a greater whole. Music and art, then, become expressions of this invisible dialogue between humanity and the cosmos. This concept brings us to a crucial point. The idea that true inspiration is as much around us as it is within us. We can find powerful ideas in nature, in human interactions, and often in moments of silence and reflection. However, it is essential for us to be open to receiving this information. Now that we are beginning to understand where inspiration can truly reside, join me as we move on to the next chapter. Get ready because we are going to explore the magic and science behind music, an art form that often transports us to a state of deep inspiration. You will be surprised to see the connection between music and mathematics, and how this phenomenon can shape our thoughts and emotions. Have you ever wondered why music has such a profound effect on us? It's more than just a collection of sounds, it's a universal language. But did you know that music is not merely a collection of well-organized notes? In fact, it has a mathematical structure that can help us better understand our own creativity and the way we connect with the world around us. Since ancient times, composers and mathematicians have noted that the relationships between musical notes follow mathematical patterns. For instance, the musical scale is composed of intervals that can be expressed in fractions and proportions. Imagine that, just as in physics, where the laws of the universe have defining numbers, in music, this definition also exists. These mathematical patterns not only create pleasant melodies but also evoke deep emotions in those who listen. Musicians such as Johann Sebastian Bach and Ludwig van Beethoven intuitively understood these connections. They didn't just create music, they created experiences using mathematics as a tool to touch the human soul. Through well-calculated harmonies and rhythms, they managed to stir people's emotions in ways that transcended generations. Music can indeed change the mood of an entire nation, as seen in Germany with Wagner's works, which inspired patriotic fervor. But it's not just the great classics that fascinate us. Contemporary music is also rooted in subtle mathematical principles. In Hollywood, for example, soundtracks are meticulously composed to evoke specific emotions. A dramatic crescendo signals anxiety, while a soft chord can provide comfort. This emotional programming in music is powerful evidence of how literature and art could serve as extensions of our perception of the world. When we listen to a piece of music, what occurs in our minds is a complex process. Our perception is constantly influenced by rhythms, melodies, and scales that capture our attention and shape our reactions. Often we don't consciously perceive the underlying mathematics, but it's there, providing a solid foundation for the emotions we feel. Now think about this. If music is capable of touching our souls and provoking significant changes in our behavior, what is the source of inspiration behind it? How does this mathematics, this structure, connect to the greater source we discussed earlier? This leads us to a fascinating reflection on the profound relationship between art and science. And now, keeping this line of thought in mind, you're going to want to see what comes next. We will discover how the analogy between the brain and a computer can help us better understand our relationship with inspiration and creativity. Get ready, because our journey is about to delve into captivating questions that connect creativity to a much broader cosmic network. Now, let's explore an analogy that might change the way you view creativity: the human brain compared to a computer. Just like a PC, our brain processes data, stores information, and executes commands. However, this comparison goes far beyond mere mechanical functions. Here, the true magic happens when we begin to understand the depths of this relationship. Imagine your brain as a supermachine that connects past information to new experiences, creating a complex network of synapses and neural connections. Similar to a computer connecting to the internet, our brain also seems to be tuned in to a broader network of information and inspiration circulating around us. It's as if, in some way, we are all parts of a grand network, constantly absorbing and sharing knowledge and creativity. This invisible network is often referred to as a collective intelligence. The idea is that we, as human beings, are connected through experiences, thoughts, and even emotions. When we think about how creativity operates within this system, we encounter fascinating questions about how ideas can be transmitted from one mind to another. If Tesla was right in saying that his inspiration came from external sources, could we also conclude that we are all interconnected in ways we have barely begun to understand? The computer analogy extends to the concept of Wi-Fi. Just as a router connects multiple machines within a network, our consciousness may be connected to a universal source of inspiration. And what is in this router? It could be the creativity of humanity, the collective experience, or even a cosmic force guiding us. The beauty of this comparison allows us to view our brains not merely as isolated organs, but as part of a vast ecosystem of creation. As we explore this interconnection, we begin to question: to what extent are we influenced by thoughts, ideas, and inspirations that are not exclusively our own? And more importantly, how can we tune into this source to harness the untapped potential of our own creativity? To delve even deeper into this mystery, it's crucial to discuss how we are all impacted by forces beyond our control. So, stay with me as we prepare to explore a brilliant concept. What can we learn from the behaviors of other living beings? Let's discover how the communication among flocks of birds or schools of fish can teach us about our own interdependence and the role of inspiration in our lives. It's a fascinating journey through nature that may finally provide us with answers about our own creations. Have you ever noticed how animals in large flocks or schools seem to operate in perfect synchrony? Just observe a massive flock of birds that all change direction at once. Similarly, a school of fish can instantly evade a predator, all in perfect harmony. What lies behind this almost magical communication among them? How do they know exactly when and how to act? These fascinating performances of nature reveal something much greater: the existence of a connection that goes beyond the individual. Imagine this. Just as birds and fish are guided by instincts that keep them united, we human beings may also be connected by something that influences us collectively. This reinforces the idea that we are not alone in our quest for inspiration and creativity. Studies on animal communication indicate that many species are capable of detecting subtle changes in their environment and connecting with one another through nonverbal signals. These communication mechanisms are a testament to the natural intelligence that permeates the animal kingdom. It's as if there is a collective intelligence guiding their decisions, causing them to act in unison for the common good. This idea of interconnectedness resonates strongly when we consider human creativity and inspiration. What if we also consider that this communication system exists among us? What is the impact of the environments we inhabit, the people we meet, and the experiences we go through on our own capacity to create? The concept that humans share a collective intelligence prompts us to reflect on our role in a larger whole and how we can access this source of inspiration that surrounds us. Tesla, in his reflections, was aware that the energy of the universe flows through all things, connecting everything in a cosmic dance of creation. What if the same energy that guides birds and fish also influenced our ideas and creations? This perspective leads us to an epiphany about how ideas are not merely products of individual thought but can also be influenced by the echoes of a collective consciousness. By looking at the behavior of living beings and considering their influence, we have the opportunity to better understand our own creativity. We belong to a broader web of interaction and inspiration. This connection reminds us that we are part of something grand, and just like the birds in the sky or the fish in the depths of the ocean, we can find strength and innovation in community. And now, with this new perspective in mind, let's turn our attention to a giant among humans, Nikola Tesla. We will delve deeper into his experiences and how he perceived his inspiring actions while creating inventions that changed the world. Stay with me, as you will be amazed to discover how Tesla connected with this flow of ideas that transcends our understanding. When we talk about inventions that changed the course of history, nothing compares to the impact that Nikola Tesla had on our world. This visionary was not just an inventor, he was a true archetype of what it means to be creative on a cosmic level. His life and work are intertwined with a deep understanding of the inspiration that flows through all of us. More than that, Tesla left us a legacy that stirs our curiosity about the nature of creativity. In his famous statement that his ideas came from someone or something visiting him at night, Tesla reveals a fundamental aspect of his life, the idea that he was a channel. He would often report that before sleeping, he placed a notebook beside his bed, ready for the inspirations that would visit him. Upon waking, he would discover entire inventions and solutions to complex challenges already recorded there. This raises a fascinating question. Are we also open to receiving these ideas from the world around us? Tesla believed deeply in the connection between every being in the universe. Throughout his life, he developed inventions that seemed ahead of their time, such as wireless electricity and the technology needed for long-distance energy transmission, concepts that are becoming a reality thanks to modern advancements. But how did he access these seemingly impossible ideas? It was through a synergy with a greater source, of which we all are a part. When we think of inspiration, we often associate it with a moment of individual success. However, the main message that Tesla left us goes beyond that. True inspiration may come from an external influence. This notion makes us reflect on how other geniuses in history also found the answers they sought in unexpected places. It's almost as if we are tuned into divine ways of communication that surpass our understanding. Thus, Tesla's message resonates today more than ever. In a world filled with noise and distractions, how can we find space for this creative influence that is always available to us? What is the key to unlocking the doors of our imagination and allowing inspiration to flow freely? As we conclude our journey through Tesla's legacy, we are invited to explore the role we can play as creators and innovators. After all, if he believed that ideas come from a place beyond ourselves, and if that place is waiting to be discovered by all of us, what are we waiting for to make that connection? This is the great mystery of human creativity. Whenever we wish, we can access this cosmic network of inspiration. With this in mind, I invite you to reflect on your own creative journey. What invisible forces will help guide your ideas toward innovations that could change the world? The key may be closer than you think. And so, we close the chapter on this incredible journey about inspiration, creativity, and the connection we all share. Thank you for joining me throughout these fascinating chapters. Remember, the true magic lies in keeping an open mind and a curious spirit. Inspiration is always floating around. All you need to do is connect. I hope you enjoyed this amazing journey into the origins of inspiration, creativity, and the fascinating legacy of Nikola Tesla. If this exploration of the human mind and the power of ideas has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to give this video a like. Your support is essential for us to continue exploring these intriguing topics together. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, don't waste any time. Click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new content coming your way. With each video, we dive into new mysteries and discoveries that will surely inspire and motivate you on your own creative journey. Thank you so much for being with us, and remember, Inspiration is always around us. Stay attuned to the wonders of the universe that can illuminate your path. See you soon, and until our next video.